Hey, welcome back to the Backyard Professor Chess videos. I'm going to try to do this outside in my yard, in my backyard today. I've got a little bit of traffic, but happy Labor Day to those of you who are in the United States. I have a couple of games that I really want to show you in chess that I personally think is quite fun. I hope that wind is not too bad. I'm going to speak up, but I apologize for the wind. It was calm this morning, so it gives me up. And you can hear my wind chimes. It's windy enough you can hear these lovely wind chimes all around me. I've got one over here, too. So, I like wind chimes. I've got one over here, too. Anyway, yeah, quit chiming and start talking, right? All right, here we go. Now, this first game is a really important one for a reason of historical interest. This was played by Greco, and they say this was between 1622 and 1634. They're not quite sure the exact time, but we don't know who he was playing. So we're going to call him No Name, NN. And Greco is playing the white, and his opponent is black, and Greco is giving him an odds of his king knight. Wow, where did that light come from on that board? Holy cow, that is goofy, isn't it? Anyway, oh, my shirt. I'll bet it's my shirt. It is! Is that crazy or what? Holy cow, my shirt turns the board blue. That is me. Oh my gosh, I'm glowing in the dark. Woohoo! Well, hopefully that won't distract you too much. I'll tell you what, I had to wire this thing down to keep it from blowing in the wind. So we'll see how this goes. The first opening is Greco played was E4, right? And his opponent said, okay, king pawn opening, here we go. Then he went to bishop C4. And his opponent brought out his knight. Ooh, hey, I can hear the medical helicopter. Hopefully no one got hurt bad. It usually gets dispatched if someone gets hurt. It usually comes right over my house this way. It sounds like it's going right over behind me there. Yeah, there he goes. Good luck to whoever got hurt. I hope it wasn't bad. I'll probably hear about it in the news. Okay, focus, 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 focus. 12 monkeys, we're gonna focus. So we have a good opening here with the center being contested, right? And now he's bumped up his pawn to the d4, and now the knight simply takes the pawn. And you go, come on, Greco, you should have saw that coming, really, truly, seriously. Why didn't you put the pawn here, or put that pawn there, or whatever? But he didn't. So Greco took that pawn, and now that's kind of an interesting look on the board, isn't it? Wow, my shirt really makes that board glow, at least from this angle. Boy, this whole side of the board's blue, isn't it? Yikes, I'll do the next game from that side and see how the contrast is. So, this is kind of an interesting, wild opening, and you got to understand, we're in 1622, right? So this was before any of us were around, without question. This was before really good chess began to be played, but Greco was a great chess player for his era. He had some important information on chess that has come down to us that we still use. His opponent proceeds to take the pawn. Is that crazy or what? A great fork on the queen and the rook, isn't it? And you go, well, all right, take a pawn, and you lose a knight for a pawn, but he ignored the fork. Now watch what Greco does. In this instance, he castles. And you go, well, yeah, that was back in 1622, so of course he's going to do something silly and inferior that way, right? Watch. Sacrifices his queen, and now Black's probably thinking, hey, I have a chance here. I've got a chance. this is going to work good for me until Greco did his next move, and he went check. Notice the implicit, now explicit, use of the rook on the open file to guard the bishop. That's quite a move, right? You're going, oh, wow, dude, you're in trouble. And he brings his king out. And now can you see the next move Greco would want to do? I'll give you a hint. He's not going to move his queen anywhere. No kidding, cowboy, right? What about this bishop? Right to there, checkmate. Isn't that fun? What a game. So there's your first chess game in this video. Hang on, I'm going to reorient the camera a little bit. Hopefully the traffic hasn't been too bad, and I'll stand on that side of the board and I'll play this next game because it is a scream. Hang on, I'll be right back. Okay, let's get on with game number 2. By the way, I got both these games out of this book. Just so you know, this is the Dr. Tartakower and J. Dumont 500 Master Games of Chess. Really phenomenal collection of games of chess throughout history. And they go through several of the great games from way back in the, well, in the 1600s like we saw, all the way up into, I think they got up into the 1950s, something like that. So a lot of great games. Oh man, I hope I don't bump into this stupid thing all the time. I will. I'm going to bump into this. So if I sound like I'm chiming, it's because I am. This next game is a great game. I hope all the silly distractions don't goof us up from appreciating this phenomenal game. I mean, phenomenal game. You'll be glad you watched this video for this game. Alekin versus Kussman. It was in 1924 in New York. This is one of 26 simultaneous chess games that he played all at once. I have the collection of 3 of these in this book by Dumont and Tartakower. One of them went to 63 or 64 moves, and Alekin beat the guy. What blindfold is Alekin is not allowed to even see the chessboard. He is playing 26 games of chess all at once, and he is not allowed to look at the chessboard, but his opponent is. This is one of those 26 games. Get ready to have your britches blown off you, man. I'm telling you. I hope you're wearing underwear because this is an amazing game. He opens with the queen pawn. Well, I haven't played from this side of the board for a while. This is going to be interesting to see if I can do this in a coordinated fashion. I must be coordinated. Instead of using this arm, now I use this one. Yeah, baby. You're talking magnificent chess talent here. No, I mean these guys in the game, not the moron showing the game. Come on! Okay, and then he goes to knight f3. Good opening, knight f6. Good opening. No one's intimidated yet. Alekin wasn't intimidated by anybody as far as that goes. At least not so far as I've been able to tell. He was mad at a few people, I hear. You know, he lost the one game and grabbed the king and threw it over across the room. Don't do that in a tournament, they'll disqualify you. But back then, you know, you could drink and smoke and have a party while you're playing chess in a tournament that mattered. These days, we are much more calm. E6, knight c3, so typical Alekin, get the queen knight out too. Get the knights out. Of all things, get the knights out. Now we have an interesting challenge for the center. How is Alekin going to do this? Does he resign yet? No, he doesn't resign. He takes the central pawn. So typical of grandmasters, masters, and those of us in the Backyard Professor chess videos and chess club. At least I hope. Please play it this way. And then E takes the d5. So we are contending for the center. Let me move some crap off my table so I can put my chess pieces down here so I don't lose them. Hopefully the wind won't blow us away. Wow, it got breezy. I hope it's not goofing this game up. I apologize if it is. Trust me, the game's worth watching. I will try to talk loud so that you can hear me. Bishop to G5. Boom! Comes out there and puts the pin on the knight against the queen. Nice move. It doesn't faze his opponent at all. Cussman says, okay, you'll develop, I'll develop. I'll bring out another piece, yes. Development is critical. Alekin, remember, he's playing without seeing the chessboard now. He goes ahead and takes the knight. Okay? So he's blind playing this. The queen takes the bishop. And you go, okay, good so far. E4. Central pawn power, absolutely. D takes E4, hitting the knight. And now, it's not a big deal for Alekin, but he does something real interesting. He gets a piece developed while gaining a tempo. He brings the bishop up here to go check. Yeah? So he develops a piece with tempo because of the way his opponent played this. He bumped his bishop back down to block the check, so he's moved his bishop twice. So Alekin is beginning to get an edge in here, right? Just want you to be aware of that. And then remove the central pawn. You notice he ignored the threat to his knight to bring the bishop out to gain a tempo, and now he simply takes the pawn, hitting the queen and the other pawn. Of course, the other pawn is guarded, I know that, but still, just so you see the nuances here. So queen will come to b6 out of danger, remaining out in the field on the board. Putting the queen back on home square won't do you a lot of good against Alekin, right? Although the queen isn't very well placed here either, at least he's still out there. I mean, yeah, I'm trying hard to give credit where credit's due. And then bishop goes ahead and takes the bishop, check. Very interesting, huh? So now Cussman gets to develop a piece while taking Alekin's bishop. But this, again, now look, the queen is not placed very well, and that knight does not belong there either. So, yes, in a way, Cussman has caught up, quote, caught up in tempo, but he's not real coordinated, and quite frankly, he's not real well developed, and Alekin has that edge also, right? You can see that. And now Alekin chooses to castle, and the pawn takes the pawn, and the knight takes the pawn, and now Alekin is completely dominating his opponent. Now we're into the 13th move. He is playing 25 other games, and by the time he's done making a move on each one of those boards, then he comes back around to this one, and he has to remember all of those positions, and he gets to this point. What are you going to do? I'm not even going to be able to remember or know where the pieces are, right? Here's what Alekin does. Knight F5. Okay? Watch the magic here. Knight comes to E5. Queen to E2. Now, just realize he's put his queen across from the king. It doesn't matter how many pieces at all are between the queen and king. He put his queen across from the king. That could be important. You need to keep your eye on things like this. Just stay aware of what your opponent is doing. So he goes G6. He's going to make the knight decide what are you going to do, right? He ignores that, and he goes Queen B5, check. You're going, what? Is this a mistake because he couldn't remember that his queen was there? No. Watch. This is exquisite. Knight comes to d7. Okay, he didn't take the queen because there's a wicked attack, but it doesn't stop the attack. I got bees around here. Get out of here, buddy. Now, his king rook he brings to e1, straight across from the king. Yeah, always that angle, straight across from the king. Very powerful to do. And now the bishop comes up to b4, and knight goes to f6, double check, checks the king twice. So the king has to move. This is a great tactic to know. No matter what, the king has to move. So the king comes to f8. Alekin takes the knight, check. What a beautiful king-queen fork, right? You're going, oh my gosh, is this guy blind or what? No, he's not blind yet. Oh, wait a minute, I missed a move. Doggone it. I missed a move. Crap! The rook was supposed to be here. Oh man, do I want to redo this game? Yeah, I'm going to redo this game. Hang on, I'll be right back. I'm going to leave this on as one of my bloopers, okay? He skipped a move, the moron. Now he's got to start all over. So let's see if I can do this any better the second time through. Hey, we could do a video series of Backyard Professor chess bloopers. I do about 6 a game, right? Hang on. Holy shish kebab, the crap I go through to entertain my beloved chess fans. Ha! You got to admit something. You'll never see this in any of the chess videos. A big major mess up and then redoing the game all the way through again. You got to admit, I get a gold star on my forehead for originality of chess instructional videos. I mean, come on, give me a break. I don't have an ego. I suck at it. I don't care whether I make a fool of myself. I make a fool of myself every video I make, right? Okay, let's do this again. Alekin and Kussman. I'll go real quick through this right to the end. d4, d5. And now knight f3, which is a good opening, and knight f6, which is a good response, and c4. Come here, kid. Okay, c4, so we're contesting the center. e6, knight c3, bravissimo, and then c5, arguing hard for the center. c takes d5. And e takes d5. Okay, here we go. This is probably some real famous variation that I haven't got a clue about. However, keep watching, I promise. You'll love this ending. Now bishop g5. Remember, Alekin does not see the chessboard in this game. e6, then he takes the knight, of course. Hey, we got to play the same game twice. What the heck? They did the same thing the last time I showed this. Isn't that interesting? It's almost like I'm psychic. Whatever. Shut up and get through the game, you moron. D takes e4, threatening the knight, but Alekin ignores this. And he says, look, I can develop and gain a tempo, which he does. He develops and gains a tempo. And now, here we go. Here's where I missed the move. Knight takes e4 at this. No, this isn't where I missed the move. Queen went to b6, kind of a misplaced queen, not the best spot for it. We went ahead and took the bishop, check. The knight took the bishop, no more check. And then he castled. Yes, he castled. Last time I went through this game, he did the same thing at this point. And then c takes d4. Woohoo! Hey, we're making progress. We're just about where I made the fatal error, and now knight takes d4. Now here, Alekin is dominating the center, and here's where I missed it. The rook comes to d8. Oh, glory! Now we have a chess game that makes sense. Okay, let's see what happens now. Now at this point, yes, now Alekin begins to play tough, right? And then knight e5, threatening the queen. That makes sense. He took the queen, put it across from the king, but that's why he moved his queen. Now it makes sense. Duh. Play the game right, you moron. Then g6 hitting the knight, and now here Alekin will ignore this attack, properly so, because he has a better move. Queen takes b5. Now, the reason he can't take the queen is because I don't know why he can't take the queen. I'm not going to worry about it. Now, there's some reason why he didn't take the queen. I haven't looked at this in depth, any depth. He brought the knight back. If he takes the queen, then the knight will take the knight, forking the queen and king. But then the rook can just take the knight, and then the knight will take the rook, and then the bishop will take the rook, and then the rook will come out. There's a bad angle here against Kussman. That's why he has not swapped that queen yet. I guarantee there's a reason why. So he blocks the check. Now, Alekin doesn't want to change queens yet either. This is where he brings the rook across from the king, and now the bishop comes to b4, hitting the rook. And then the knight comes here to double check. Okay, now we are sitting pretty. Now there's a double check. The king must move, right? So the king goes to f8. At this point, here is where the knight takes the knight check, and the rook takes the knight, and then Alekin makes one of the most beautiful moves in all of chess history. Watch this. What would you do? You came right to there. And that's where black resigned. And you go, what? Yeah, black resigned here. Here's why. There are no less than 3 different ways from this position that Alekin can checkmate him from this next move. No matter what he does, it's checkmate the next move. He can come here. That's a checkmate. Or he can come here, and that's a checkmate. Or he can take the rook, and that's a checkmate. Hey, there's jets flying. Boy, first a helicopter, now a jet. Don't these people realize I'm trying to make chess videos today? So rude. Anyway, there's your chess game. That's the final position where he resigned. Fun stuff. Alekin always did stuff like this. That's one of the reasons why I so love Alekin. I'm really afraid this wind has gooped this video up. If so, I apologize. I'll go in and make some videos inside. It's getting more and more windy. It was supposed to be a beautiful day today, but you know, weathermen are the only people who can be wrong 70% of the time and keep their job, right? Thank goodness they aren't engineers, yeah. Okay, anyway, thanks for watching my Backyard Professor Chess videos. They are always a ball to do for you. We are cooking with gas. I am going to jump back onto Bobby Fischer here soon. I've got to play through some of his games and work up some of his games. We've got some great stuff coming up with Fischer as well. I haven't forgot about that series. I want to go completely through all of his tournament games